Yeah, good morning, everyone. Online students, hope I'm audible and you could see my screen. Online students, yes. Okay, nice. So where are we, guys? What are we discussing in the last class? In the last class, we are going through the list of all the technologies. I mean, at least a brief idea of what actually individual technology is used for. Now we got a good idea that what all the technologies will be involved in web development. And we have seen what do you mean by HTML, what do you mean by CSS, what do you mean by JavaScript, where actually it will be used, what do you mean by jQuery. I think until Bootstrap I haven't yet covered, right? So until jQuery, we got a good idea. What are we going to do? Okay. So any questions up to there? Everyone clear with yesterday's discussion? Okay. I think yesterday I have even asked you guys to get ready with the installation of VS Code, Sublime Text Editor, and get the sign up with GitHub. Hope everybody's ready. Everyone? No? Okay. Make it today. Okay. So make sure you do it, guys. And along with this, or anyone facing any challenges doing this, how to install Sublime on Ubuntu? Ubuntu, I don't think it is supporting. If it is supporting Linux, it should be able to support the same. Have you tried this? Try the Linux version and see whether it is working or not. Okay. Yesterday's portion, actually, this is my first class. Oh, Nitin, like, I mean, yesterday we have gone through the brief introduction of each and every technology. Anyway, Ramesh will be sharing you the video links. Okay. Ramesh will be sharing all the first 3 class video links. You can just have a go through with that. And if you still have a question, then I can help out. Okay. Yeah. Along with this, today I would like you guys to install another tool, which is called as GitHub Desktop. Okay. So just copy this. So try to install this guy, right? Just go into Google, click on GitHub Desktop. Okay, Prerna, you also, it is the first class. Anyone today is the first class? Offline? 1. Okay. Online, other than Prerna and Nitin? No one? Okay. Just wait for some time, guys. Ramesh anyway will be pinging us the video links of the previous classes along with yesterday's. You can have a check on that. Okay. Anyway, I'm just good. Okay. Ramesh has just pinged this. And offline students, anyone wanted this video links? Okay. I'll copy it here. After the class, you can have a copy from me, my system. Please. G1 also first class. Okay. So please copy the links what actually Ramesh has shared, guys. Okay. So today's assignment is you need to get ready with the installation of GitHub Desktop. Okay, it's a very simple installation. Again, next process, download the exe or MSA file and install it and get ready. Sooner we are going to, I'm going to make you as a collaborator and you can start working on that. So once whoever got installed or sign up with the github.com, okay, try to open this link. Okay, this is what the repository you should able to access. Okay, online students, you please try to open this link after you sign up. First, sure, you need to sign in, then you need to open this guy. Okay, I'm even putting this link here. Offline students also, you can try this. And again, offline students, I already said you, if possible, you get your laptops and do the live coding here. Okay, instead of going home and practicing, you can get your laptops and parallelly when I'm doing something, you can actually try it over here itself. Recommended, not mandatory, and only laptops, no desktops. Okay. Okay. So this is what else to be installed? Okay, so today let us talk something about, we already discussed about the CSS3 and HTML5, right? So these two are the new versions of your existing HTML4 and CSS2. When I'm coming to the HTML5 and CSS3, doesn't mean that we are leaving the HTML4 and CSS2, but these are the new set of concepts adding to the existing HTML4 and CSS2. We are going together. Okay, it is not like leaving the older versions behind, but it is going like together with the new set of features. Coming to the jQuery library, I said that it's a predefined jQuery, predefined JavaScript methods will be there, using which you could able to perform the DOM operations very faster. Okay, I will talk about what do you mean by DOM, what do you mean by schema, etc. But just a broader picture, it comes with reusable methods using which you can do the job more faster in your JavaScript. Okay. And coming to the Bootstrap 5. So before coming to the Bootstrap 5, you guys need to know what do you mean by responsive design or responsive web pages. Okay, so what do you mean by responsive here? Before the responsive, you know, like being a developer of a web pages, nowadays, the biggest challenge what we will be facing is responsiveness. Now, what do you mean by responsiveness? Earlier days, whenever we used to develop a web page, it is only the desktop or laptop or some bigger machines is the only place where people used to open the web pages. But that is not the case nowadays. Nowadays, people are having lot of devices. It can be a mobile, it can be a tablet, it can be a laptop or a ThinkPad or a desktop or projector or TV. There are like huge number of devices what you have. Now, we can't ask the user, boss, when you are into the mobile, you visit some abcmobile.com. When you are into the desktop, abcdesktop.com. We can't change the address, isn't it? The address should be the same. Now, when I say amazon.com, amazon.com is I should able to open within your mobile, the tablet, the desktop, which we call it as omni-channels. Omni-channel in the sense, cross the devices. Okay, which are having different dimensions. Now, this is what the challenging a developer is having. Now, being a developer, I develop something on the desktop because I have some too much of space. I will be adding some piece of content here. But going forward, when the user is opening the same web page in a mobile, I don't have the same space. Isn't it? The space what you have is lesser. Now, I should able to add the content in such a way that whatever it is possible, whatever it is important to be shown, that is how I need to make it in the smaller devices. Okay, so that we call it as a responsive design. Anytime a web page is expected to be responsive, in the sense people are expecting the same web page to behave across the multiple devices in a different way. Let me show you an example. Now I say something called as amazon.in. This is a web page. Now, when I'm minimizing this guy, or else let me. Come on. Okay, now if you see, this is the same web page, amazon.com is getting loaded in 730 by 448 dimensions screen. Okay, if I want to make it smaller, assume this is one of the phone dimensions. So this is how it is looking. Okay, this is how the Amazon page is looking. Do you see a scroll bar at the horizontal at the bottom? Yes, it is. Okay, now you tell me, is this web page is responsive? No, actually. Okay, it is not at all responsive. Anytime, whenever you're loading any of the web page in any of the device, vertical scroll bar is always fine. You guys are okay in scrolling up and down, but are you guys okay on left and right scroll bar? No. Okay, so whenever you got any type of scroll bar like this, horizontally, implies that is not a responsive web page. So Amazon.com is not a responsive web page. The same thing happens even with your Flipkart.com also. Now you may ask me a question, boss, these are like the bigger web pages, right, which are very popular. Why the reason they haven't added this responsiveness here? Because they have openly announced that they are not going to support any type of responsiveness. If at all you want to open the Amazon in the smaller devices, you need to install the app. App is different and web page is different. They're already giving you a dedicated app, which is for the smaller devices. So whenever you want to go with the bigger device, you can go with the, like if your Windows operating system, you can go with the Amazon.com. But when you're going with the smaller phones, tablets, etc., you should go with the apps here. So web pages are not recommended to be open within your mobile. So that is the reason they are not at all supporting the responsiveness of the web page. So this is not a responsive. For example, I go with something called, there is a get bootstrap web page. Okay, this is one of the web page. If you see here, this is how it is getting loaded in case of your desktop. Now, if you try to minimize this window, see here, when it is a bigger device, this is how it is. When it is becoming smaller, you see here, is it not automatically getting adjusted according to the device dimensions? See the tab, what you have on the top, which is your home, docs, example, etc. When I'm minimizing this guy, it is automatically turning into a menu bar, because I don't have that much of space. Now, whenever I'm putting into a smaller device, you see here, this is how it is coming. So this web page, we call it as a responsive web page. Do you see a scroll bar horizontally? No, only vertically up and down. Okay, so this is what the challenging part for a developer. Boss, when it is bigger device, this is what I'm showing. When it is smaller device, I'm adjusting the content in accordingly so that user doesn't get any disturbance on the UI. And if you see here, in order to see the content in the mobile, I am not changing the web page URL. I'm not going for a different web page here. Same web page, getbootstrap.com is the same web page. It will automatically, it is having the intelligence inside that I will automatically get adjusted to the device what you are actually rendering. If you open in a laptop, I will render accordingly. If you open in a projector, I will open accordingly. If you open in your smaller device, whatever the device, omni channels you open, I have an auto intelligence of getting adjusted automatically. This type of web pages, we call it as a responsive web pages. Whenever you go into the real time, when there is a requirement for you, people will be asking you, boss, do you have an experience of responsiveness web page? They don't say that, boss, do you have an experience of developing in the mobile, developing in the tablet? Instead of that, they simply say that, do you have an experience in responsive design or not? So what is their expectation? Their expectation is whether you have an experience with developing the web pages, which is working according to the device what you are rendering. Okay, responsiveness is same web page. It is not like different web pages you will be developing, because there is a problem of maintenance. Now, if I say that I maintain some piece of code for mobile type of development, some piece of code for the desktop. Now, in future, if at all I need to do some color theme changes, etc., I need to do it at multiple places. Yes. Instead of that, write a same piece of code, add the intelligence in such a way that it automatically gets adjusted or gets rendered according to the device what you are rendering. Am I clear? Responsiveness. Yes. Now, in order to implement the responsiveness, we have a concept in your CSS3, which we call it as a media queries. Okay, there is a concept, something called as media queries, which is supported in your CSS3, using which you could able to achieve the feature of automatically page getting adjusted according to the device dimensions. We need to write some piece of code saying that @media for 300 pixel width, this is how the look and feel is, 450 what it is. So you need to specify the dimensions and you need to write the piece of code over there. But now, we have the concept of Bootstrap 5 here. Bootstrap is the external CSS API. The latest version is 5, what we'll be looking into. Now, what Bootstrap is doing? Bootstrap is completely an external guy. It's an external organization. What they have come up is, they have come up with some predefined components, predefined look and feel, predefined CSS classes. What they are telling is, boss, you as a developer, you have to use some of the feature multiple times and number of times within your application development. Okay, say for example, I have a menu bar. Menu bar is the very common thing you see in your Bootstrap. Where is that? Okay. Do we have a menu bar on the top? Yes, it is. Now, this is a very common component which will be useful across your development of multiple applications. Now, what the Bootstrap guy is saying is, I will come up with some predefined components. You as a developer, copy my piece of code, add it over there. I will automatically take care of the responsiveness. So you as a developer getting benefit of not writing each and every piece of code in order to handle the responsiveness. You simply need to make use of the thing what actually Bootstrap is already providing. You just make use of it, the things will be automatically get ready. That is what your Bootstrap is. He is an external CSS API, nothing to do with the JavaScript. He is a CSS API coming with some set of predefined classes, whatnot. I mean, all the components, etc. and all. You just need to copy it, add it, your job will be ready for you. It's, I mean, openly, honestly speaking, it is simply copy paste part what we are going to do in case of your Bootstrap. Nothing much to learn. I mean, once you get idea of the media queries, Bootstrap is just like, it will go like anything. You can, I can show you. Say, for example, I have some components. Okay, accordion is one of the component. Now, if you see here, anytime you want these type of look and feel. Now, this is a piece of component. When I say component, in the sense, a piece of look and feel. I'm not talking about the complete web page. Within the web page, a piece of template or a piece of look and feel, which is having its own functionality. Now, can I say that this is one of the individual component, whatever I have in the box, which is having some items, accordions. When I expand it, it gets expanded. When I expand the other guy, that guy gets closed and this guy gets expanded. So this is a piece of look and feel along with the functionality. We call it as a component. Okay, nowadays the component based development is what actually recommended, and that is what the trending, not trending at the same time, it trending also at the same time. We have lot of advantages. When you go with your Angular framework, React framework, everyone will call it as a component. The reason is, if you go for Amazon.com, you see a lot of things in my web page. Yes, there is a header bar. Under that, there is a search bar. At the bottom, there is an image slideshow. At the bottom, there is some individual product display. You know what actually it is? These all are individual components. When the development is going on, it is not like one developer sitting and writing all the piece of code. There are a group of developers individual be working with individual components. Say, for example, I'm a developer. I only work on the header component. Say, for example, she is a developer. She only works on the slideshow. Maybe he is a developer. He only works on the list of products. So they individually work on individual products. Individual components. They gather them, they merge them. Now they create a complete web page. Now the web page is the combination of multiple components. Nowadays, it's all the component development which is going. When you go with Angular, they say that, okay, you need to generate a component. Go with the React, you need to generate a component. Am I clear? The other advantage what you have is with the components, the first advantage is parallel development. I don't know if, for example, I'm the only one. Say, for example, we all are working. We are working in on a single project like Amazon, and I'm going to develop the web page. What I need to do, when I'm writing something, you guys need to wait. Isn't it? Say, for example, I'm working on a header page. You guys need to wait because the same page you need to start working. Now, once I'm done with the header page, I will give it to her. She will start working on the slideshow. Now, once she is done, then he has to come into the picture. Like this, like it's like not a parallel development. It's not a simultaneous development, but it is synchronous development. Until and unless I do that, she can't do anything. Until she can't do that, he can't do anything. So this is like dependency is going to happen. That is problem number one. And the problem number two is, for example, in Amazon, I'm developing another web page for, say, some seller information, sellers where they want to sell the products, etc. I want to create a page. I might be having some same type of header over there also. Yes, right? I might be having same type of header with a logo, etc. on the other page also. Yes, it is. Now, if the same type of look and feel or the functionality need to be added, I need to do the restart of the application. Copying of the content over there. I need to copy the content of the header from the one page into another page, which is like a duplication. But now if we go with the component based development, what happens is once I develop a component that can be plugged into any of the web pages. Once the development is there, any number of times you can make use of it. Okay, that is the reason component based development is mostly recommended. So like this, Bootstrap also comes with some predefined component. It says that, okay, this is one of the slider. What did it say? See, openly they have even given the copy part. Copy this guy, go into your page wherever you want, simply paste this guy, that component will be ready to make use. On the top, you just need to do the changes, because not everyone will be having this only accordion item one. The content what they have is it won't be the same, right? So you can actually modify this content, but the functionality, the look and feel, Bootstrap is already providing. So it's like too much useful API, guys. Bootstrap, when lots of complete application, anytime you want to make it responsive, you can simply make use of it. Okay, like this, there are other components, like for example, drop downs, not drop downs, navbar. You see here, anytime you want to generate the navbar, something like this, okay, which is a responsive. See here, when I'm minimizing this, they automatically get adjusted with the responsiveness. See here, navbar, automatically it has turned into the menu bar. But when I expand this guy, that has become a tab type of structure. So if at all you have to do this, if at all you say that, no boss, I don't want to use Bootstrap, then you need to write a hell lot of code in your CSS3 using the media queries for so and so dimensions, how the look and feel, so and so dimensions, how the look and feel. You need to write the piece of code manually. But in this case, you don't need to. Bootstrap is already providing it. Take it, plug it into your application, your job is ready. Okay, so that's about the Bootstrap. Anyway, once I come there, I'll be giving much more information what actually Bootstrap is, how do you make use of the Bootstrap, what are the CSS file and the JS file need to be injected. Those things we'll see later. Okay, so these all are the technologies which will be part of your front-end technologies. Okay, so any questions on this? It is a CSS library, not JavaScript library, we can call. Any more questions? Online students? Guys, hope everyone is having Ramesh number, right? So please make sure everybody keep this number handy. Okay, Buddha, API. Oh, okay. So a lot of people will be using this word, right? Like API. So what do you mean by API full form? Application Programming Interface. So what do you mean by this API? Anytime we have the reusable components or reusable things which will be used across your application, we call it as an API. All the libraries, we call it as an API. At the same time, when I come to the Ajax call, there is a concept of something called as REST APIs and SOAP APIs, representational state transfer protocol APIs and service oriented architecture protocol APIs. So anytime you want to create a communication with the server, client is communicating with the server, we will be having some web service URL. So even web service URL also will be called as a APIs. I mean APIs, endpoint, web service URL. So we can have server URL. There are a lot of namings, but whenever you say API, it means that an interface through which you are actually interacting. Now, when I say that jQuery is also API because it is giving some predefined methods using which you are making or advantage of the jQuery. Okay, so that is what we call it as a API. Any more questions? Online students, hope everyone is clear. Okay, offline. No questions? Good. Okay, so this about the development of the UI or the front end. As I already said you, if you opt for the frameworks, even the frameworks like Angular or React will also fall under this front end only. React or framework never comes into the back end. Those all into the front end itself. Okay, next, coming to the back end technologies. Now, why the reason we actually go with the back end? The server. Why the reason we need a server, guys? Okay, next. Why the database interaction. Yesterday, we have already, not yesterday, day before yesterday, I have already shown that architecture. Remember, UI or the client has to interact with the database to get the data. But the problem is there is no plugins or drivers through which you can actually make the front end to interact with the database. Okay, that is the reason what actually we are doing. We are making the client to interact with the server. So that server will be creating a request to the database. From there, you're going to receive the data. You will respond back to the client side. Isn't it? So that is what it's the process. So the server is the one who is acting like a mediator. Server always does two jobs, guys. One is hosting the resources and second thing is running the services. So I don't want to explain much on this right now. I don't want to confuse you. Just assume like server is like a mediator for now. Server is the mediator through which client is putting a request to the server. Server is internally creating a request to the database. Whatever the data I get, I'm responding back. So that is what the job server is doing. Now, as we already discussed, when I say server, n number of servers can be added. There are lots and lots of examples for the server. You can go with the Java server, Apache server, Tomcat server, JBoss server, WebLogic server, Python, PHP, hell lot of servers we already have in the market. You can go with any of the server. But the challenging part, what is there for the UI developers is, once you get expertise on these all front-end technologies, if I ask you guys, please go into .NET server or please go into Java server, it is like a complex part for you. Because boss, we are into the UI. I can't again start with the C# coding, .NET understanding and all. I can't start with the Java, core Java, etc. Again, I need to go with till the Spring Boot, etc. It's not so easy for you. Then how do I achieve it? So that is where you have the concept of Node.js server. Node.js, yes, it is a server which is capable of doing every job what actually your other servers are doing. The only difference is we are going to make use of JavaScript as a programming language within the Node.js server. Okay, we are not going with any different programming language. I'm not asking you to learn again some Java or .NET, some etc. technology. You will be already expertise into the JavaScript in this. Yes. Now, as we already understand the JavaScript, the programming language will be same. The terminology will be differentiated according to the Node.js. So that is how it will be easy for you. You can be working with the server, but the technology or the programming language, what you use is again, same JavaScript code. No new learning for you. Am I clear? So Node.js is one of the very beautiful server, guys. Like in your Uber, Microsoft organization, everyone is going to make use of the Node.js itself. It is completely a game-changing part. Because earlier, you know, before Node.js, there is a very less requirement of the full stack developers, because not every developer, I can't expect that you are a front-end developer. You should also get expertise on Java, etc. It is not so easy for us. That is the reason we used to have separate front-end developers and back-end developers. But the time Node.js has come into the picture, obviously the front-end guy also can become a server-side developer. Isn't it? So that is where actually it started with full stack developers, people who have an idea of the front end, at the same time people who have an idea of the server side also. So Node.js is one of the very trending and game-changing server platform, which provides all the high-end advanced features of your server side. Every other part in your Node.js, we are going to have a look on that. In Node.js, I will tell you how do we handle the get communication, post communication, how you're going to read the data from the user, how you're going to submit the data from the user, how you upload the files, not just only the data, how you upload the resources. Like I want to upload my resume, I want to upload some images, some profile pic, how it is going to be added. So those type of things, we are going to have a look on that. In the same way, I'm even going to talk about web services. How do you develop web services at the server side? Okay, microservices or web services, how do you develop in the Node.js? Those things we are going to work. And in your Node.js, I'm going to work about the Express framework also. Express is again external framework on the top of Node.js. To make the things more smoother and more faster, we will be going with the Express.js. I'll be talking about that. We will be talking about the single page web application concept, sessions, clustering, handling the encryption, decryption, interaction with the database also. When the UI will put a request to the Node.js server, how the Node.js is creating a request to the MongoDB. From the MongoDB, how you're going to get the data, how you're going to respond back. These all process, we are going to have a look on that. Okay. That's about the Node.js, and MongoDB is one of the very trending database nowadays, guys, in the market. Okay, most of the cases it is going to make use of the MongoDB. Okay, the reason why people are going with the MongoDB is very simple to understand and schemaless and NoSQL database it is called as. Anyone having idea of SQL or PL by SQL? Just an idea. Okay, what actually we have, we are going to put some queries over there. For example, I want to create a table. You need to say create table. What is the table name? What is the column name? What is the data type? What is the primary key, foreign key, etc., stuff you need to do. So the limitation what you have with your RDBMS, relational database management system, is you need to specify the schema. You need to tell that what is the structure of my table before I insert the data. Without telling the schema, you can't insert the data in your RDBMS structure or RDBMS database. But coming to the MongoDB, it is like schemaless. You don't need to specify any schema. You want to insert, directly insert, that's it. And another thing is, you don't need to put any queries here. It is like a NoSQL language. You're not going to write any PL by SQL. When you go with the PL by SQL, hell lot of queries you are going to write it. If conditions, loopings also can be added in the SQL. But that type of things are not there in your MongoDB. It's simple commands: create collection, get collection, show collection. It's so easy to implement. At the same time, so powerful when you're storing the data. The powerfulness of your MongoDB has come from JSON data structure. In the market nowadays, if you ask anyone, you go to the Java guy, .NET guy, or front-end guy, what is the very powerful data structure you have if you want to store the data? Is earlier you used to say that stacks, queues, linked list, double linked list, circular linked list, etc., graphs, trees, and all. But nowadays, JSON is one of the very, very, very powerful data structure. JavaScript object notation, full form. It is being supported in your JavaScript initially, but the powerfulness is too much that even other technologies also started making use of it. Java supports JSON object, .NET supports JSON object, and every other technology started supporting the JSON object. But the naming itself is JavaScript object notation because it has come in the JavaScript itself. So that much powerful data structure is being used in case of your MongoDB. So what MongoDB says is, don't store the data in the form of tables, but store the data in the form of JSON object. So JSON object is one of the very interesting data structure and very simple to understand, using which you should able to insert the data so much easy, and retrieving the data is also more faster. Okay, so that is what MongoDB is becoming so popular because of the JSON object structure. And this will make you guys, the above part will make you all as a front-end developer. The back-end part will be your Node.js Express framework in your MongoDB. Where is ECMA 6? Oh, I already added. Okay, so regarding the tools, GitHub and GitHub Desktop will be looking into. Postman is one of the tool anytime we develop the web services. In your future, when I come to the Node.js, I will show you how do you develop the web service. Now, in order to test a web service, whether it is working good or not, whether it is responding fine or not, we will be going with the Postman. Okay, I will talk about that. Debugging tool is one of the default tool which comes along with your browser. Okay, whenever you open the browser, you right click on this guy. There is an option, something called as inspect. Now you see there is a tool. This is what we call it as a debugging tool. You could able to debug all the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, performance of the page, monitoring the interactions of the fetch or XHR, XML, HTTP request, or AJAX calls. Every other thing will be part of the debugging tool. It's a very, very powerful tool. I will talk about that too. Okay. And Mongo Compass. Whenever you go with the MongoDB, along with the MongoDB, you have something called as Mongo Compass tool also, which is like an interface mediator between you and the Mongo. Normally, MongoDB is a CLI, command line interface. We need to write commands and we need to get the response. But you expect, or it will be more easier if it is GUI, graphical user interface. You click on something, it happens. You delete something, it just like a button clicks, etc. So that is like Mongo Compass. We will even discuss that part. Okay. So with this, you will be done with your full stack training program. These all are the technologies we'll be using. I hope I already made it clear. Just a reminder, if it is full stack training program, this is what we have. But if you go with full stack training program along with a framework, you will be charged in a different way. and you will be having an option, either you want to go with the Angular or the React part. Okay, so any questions up to this? Everyone so clear? No questions? Everyone? Awesome. That's nice. Okay, so online students, video links are not recent videos, sir. Is it so? Is not my videos? Just check it, guys, everyone. Okay, next, Vinay, tentative time to complete Node.js. I don't have any tentative time, Vinay. I mean, as I said you, the time we start the class, it will be day one, the class one, and the time I'm going to end MongoDB or etc. It will be almost like 75 to 80 classes. So mostly like 40, after 40 to 50 classes are done, then we'll be going with that. Next, Yugender, what is a schema? Schema in the sense a structure which tells you what is the type of data you're going to store. Say, for example, I want to store some student details. I want to store the student name. I want to store the student age. I want to store the gender. I want to store the like a fees status. I want to store the address. Now there are 5 columns I want to store for the student details. This is a schema. I'm going to say that student name is a varchar or what type of data type it is. I want to store the student age. Is a number or an integer or a decimal. So when I say schema of a table, will tell you what are the number of columns, what type of data you can actually store inside that column, and what is the maximum length and minimum length of the data, and whether it is a primary key, foreign key. So those all things will be specified under the schema of a table. So schema indicates a structure. Okay, hope you are clear, Yuginder. And sir, what all the things taught in, come on, that is what I discussed till now, right? What all the things we taught in the full stack. So Nitin, like these all are the technologies what we'll be discussing in the full stack. This is not part. Okay, Rajesh, TypeScript will be covered. No, Rajesh, TypeScript is a part of Angular. It is not part of the full stack. Okay, only when you are going with the Angular framework, then only you will be needing a TypeScript. If you say that, boss, I will be going with the React, you don't even need to know about the TypeScript. Okay. Sir, offline classes, how many hours it will be? Swaraj, it will be like both offline and online, both same timings. Okay, we are starting at 7 o'clock, we are ending at 8:30. Doesn't matter whether it's offline or online. Now I have some people, students who are sitting before me. They are also sitting in the same class. It is not different class. Connection from the database to the backend and from backend to front end. Okay, Rudra, connection from database to the backend and from backend to the front end. Yeah, that is what we have the Ajax call, right? We are going to cover that. Ramesh, it is not my classes, guys. Okay, Ramesh, admin, if you are in the class, can you please check the videos once? Maybe mistakenly you are sending other videos. 1 month before videos, it is 8:30 p.m. batch. Okay, sure, Anil. Let me check on that. I will ask Ramesh. He will update it. Biology background, 10 years of gap, can get the job. Okay, Aishwarya, you have a question that you have a biology background and 10 years of gap, can get the job. There are cases on that, but let me discuss on that, Aishwarya. You can just ping me on the Telegram. I will reply back with your question. Maybe like it's needed discussion on what is your backend, etc. What made you interest and all. So I don't want to disturb others. We will discuss on that. You can just ping me. Okay, and hope everybody is having my Telegram ID, right? Yesterday, some of you have pinged me, and I have already. Some of you have already pinged me. I've already replied. So if you have any questions, reply. Guys, if you want to talk, please talk to me, not between you. About placement and companies, Teja, like management is, guys, please, it really interrupts me when you're talking within you. Done. Okay, so about the placement and companies, guys, Naresh IT also supports the concept of placements and companies. Initially, I mean, due to Corona, I mean, the number of companies have become less, but initially, I don't know, I mean, you can ask the previous students and all, it was like every weekend we used to have a drive. Okay, so they do help you in providing the opportunity. They do help you in providing an opportunity of attending the interviews, and you can actually crack it. But one thing I want to tell you guys, I mean, I don't want to degrade, but I want to tell you, don't just concentrate on whether someone is providing an option of displacements or interviews, etc. Only concentrate on getting the knowledge. If you have a knowledge, now for example, they are getting some 3-4 companies. What if you are not, you couldn't able to crack it? Why you want to break your career there itself? If you are good at technology, why only depend on these guys? You go to Naukri, you apply it, obviously you will get the calls, you face it, and you're done. So why you want to restrict yourself? Yeah, that is option is there, but again, be concentrated on how much you are learning and how much confident you are with the technology what you learn. Okay, at the initial stage, that is where you need to put your efforts. Arun, can you put some small introduction or Angular or React? Sure, Arun, I can do that. I can help you out. What is the course duration? It is 75 to 80 classes, Nitin. Can you please repeat API part because of internet issue? I missed it. Sure, Ranju, I'll do that. Just give me a second. Which applications we need to install? Darshan, yesterday I already said that it is not application, it's the some set of softwares I asked, like the Sublime, VS Code, and desktop, Google GitHub desktop, at the same time Telegram also, guys. Okay, in your mobiles, get installed with the Telegram and get ready with the Telegram ID. Hope everyone is having the Telegram ID, right? Yeah. Bootstrap is a framework. So what is the difference between framework and a library? Okay, actually, that's a good question. A lot of people ask this question. When I say framework, what is the difference? When I say library, what is the difference? When I say library, it also comes with reusable predefined methods. When I say framework, it also comes with reusable predefined stuff. But the only difference is, if at all you have to make use of a library, you don't need to follow any set of rules and regulation. Just include that external JavaScript file, call the method, your job is done. But when you go with the framework, it is not like I can start making use of the predefined things, whatever the framework is providing. For example, Angular framework is there. jQuery library is there. In jQuery, there is a method called as add class. If at all I have to make use of it, include jQuery.js, call that add class method, your job is done. The time you include that JS, you can start making use of it. The same way in Angular, assume I have some predefined method, something called as I have to create one of the service. Okay, I have one of the HTTP client service, I have to make use. You cannot make use of the predefined things from the Angular until and unless your project is following a structure. The very first rule what Angular will say is, the folder structure, whatever you create, it should be of mine type. Okay, whatever Angular is supporting, you need to say ng generate new, what is the project name? It will be creating a complete folder structure. Under the folder structure, you will be having app.module.ts dependency, app.component.ts dependency. Under the app.component.ts, now, under the app.component, now you need to create another multiple components the way you wanted. Under the component, you can start making use of the predefined feature what they are giving. So in order to make use of something advantage from the framework, you need to follow some set of rules and regulations. The reason why people go with the frameworks is, it is a architecture. It is a set of rules and regulations, the way you develop a web page. It is not like you can start working on that. Practical example, guys. For example, assume I'm taking the classes here. So obviously there is something being provided here. You can read it or you can listen it and you can understand the knowledge. That is what it's happening here. Classes every day. Okay, fine. Let me say that I am a library. If it is a library, you know what happens? Library in the sense, not the books library, JavaScript library issue. If my concept is a library, what you can do is, you can pay the bill, whatever they're asking for. Now you get in whatever you wanted, you can just take it and you can go away. If it is library. If it is a framework, you know what happens? I will be putting some rules and regulation. The rules are, if at all you have to get the advantage of the classes which are happening every day here, you need to pay the bill. That is the very first part. The second part is, you need to be on time. On 7 o'clock, you need to get in. At 8:30, you need to get out of it. If you are late, obviously you will not be entered. Assume. The third point, I say that, boss, everyone has to be in a formal way. You have to put your shirt and you have to do the insert, etc. things and all, put your shoes, etc. Those things you need to be follow so that you can come into the classes. Fourth thing, I say that boys should be always on the left side, girls should be always on the right side. You have to maintain some distance, etc. etc. rules I'm going to add, that is this. Now I'm adding this set of rules. You need to follow these rules in order to achieve the knowledge over here. This is called as a framework. Now the advantage what I have, when I follow these timings, when I follow this set of rules and regulations, obviously the development will be in an order. Yes or no? Like whatever the course topic is going on, everybody will follow the set of rules and the development will be in a more, more fruitful way. But coming to the library, now you say that, okay, today I'm feeling sleepy. You're not coming to the class. Tomorrow you feel happy. I mean, you want to come, then you come and you take the knowledge, whatever it is. So you're still getting the content, but not in the way you actually wanted. So that is what the difference between the library and the framework. Hope you understood. When it is a library, things are coming. Framework, things are coming. But the only difference is, in order to make use of the library, you don't need to follow any set of rules and regulations and all. But coming to the framework, you need to follow the set of rules and regulation. Then only you will be getting the content what actually the framework is providing. So why the people made this framework? Now, say for example, single page web application concept. Single page web application means any type of web application you develop, you don't need to create n number of pages. You can't say that login.html, forgot password.html, signup.html, like product details.html. You don't create multiple HTMLs. You create only single page HTML. Okay, one master page. Under that, you will be adding the components, whatever you wanted. So that type of architecture, we call it as a single page web application architecture. So these are like some set of rules people have developed, people have designed, saying that, okay, we have followed one of the feature and it is actually fruitful. Now I say that my classes, I want to make it as fruitful. I want everyone to get a knowledge. Now I will say that, boss, this is one of the protocol you guys can follow so that you can see some better results. Okay, class content, whatever I'm delivering is same. But if you follow this set of rules and regulation, you will get the content more in a better way. People will be strict. They will make sure that every day they will come to class on time, etc. Things are going to happen. Now, what I will do, I will simply publish this protocol outside. I will say that it is Prasad's protocol or Prasad's architecture. Now, anyone who wanted, they can simply take it and they can just start making use of it. Okay, so like this, frameworks always comes with some set of rules and regulation. You need to follow it in order to achieve the content what actually they are actually providing the predefined things. Okay, hope you are clear. React.js is also a library. The reason why the React.js is a library is, when I say React as a library, it doesn't come with every predefined stuff. It has some component type of things, but at the same time, for example, I want to make use of Ajax call on it. It is not possible to do that in your React. What I need to do is I need to depend upon again a third-party applications. Yes. By default, React.js doesn't support, right? You need to go with some different component for that. You need to include, I'm not saying that we can't do, but by default, it doesn't support. You need to depend on the external regex or some external APIs there using that. Yes. So you need to use that and you need to achieve it, right? So it is not the default thing. Okay. Next, Bootstrap is a framework. Okay, you got it, sir. Please give me the GitHub link. Anyway, you guys won't be having access of right now, but it is fine. Telegram ID @ I don't think it is not like my thinking. I mean, this question is very common question. People will be asking us that whether you want to go with the Angular or whether you want to go with the React, which is having higher opportunities, and what is the better framework or better library. Both the frameworks or both this Angular and React are having the same type of requirements, guys. Okay, the only major difference what it comes is, when I come to the Angular, it doesn't use the JavaScript. It will be using the TypeScript as a programming language. Whereas coming to the React, it uses pure JavaScript. You as a UI front-end developer, you say that, boss, I don't want to go with another scripting language. I want to be only with the JavaScript. You can simply go with the React. And if you say that, no, boss, I want to go with Angular, it is, I mean, comparative with the React, to be honest, a bit of confusion you'll be having in your Angular. It is not so easy to do the, I mean, not so easy in the sense, not everywhere it will be easy. Like you need to follow some set of things, or a bit of confusion stuff you have in your Angular, but compared to with the React, it is a bit more clear and it is pure JavaScript. So that is the only difference. And if I recommend, I will say that, okay, first initially go with the React, then follow with the Angular. But anyway, both these things come with the same set of advantages. Data binding, the one of the heart of your applications nowadays, both will support it. Routing concept through URL routing, how component has to be loaded, both are going to be supported. You have something called a services concept. You have something called as directives concept. So these all are being supported in both the cases. Okay, so you need to choose. How to get your Telegram ID? I already messaged it, Rajendra. Sir, Sublime not supporting. Which one? I think is Ubuntu, Ramesh, you're talking about? How to get the video recording, sir? Harish, like Ramesh will be pinging us. Okay, Ramesh will share us the video links. Which one best way to backend Node.js? Which one best way to backend? Gopi, like in our class, we will be going with the Node.js, but I don't think if you say that I will even go with a Python, ASP.NET, it will be complex for you guys. But if you say that I already have an idea, then you can make use. Which applications? I already responded. Okay, sir, React and React.js, are they both different? No, both are same, right? Okay, people just call it as React and React.js, both are same. Sublime text not supporting. Not supporting where? Just give me a second, guys. Yeah, sure. Okay. So guys, I mean, what actually management is saying is whatever the videos they have shared, yes, it is related to the 8:30 p.m. batch only. It was older batches, but anyway, the content what we are delivering is the same. There is some problem, some technical challenges what they are facing with the webinar session recording, because it is still a webinar. It is not a complete Zoom video, Zoom meeting with the ID password not created. Sooner, like in the next week, they are going to create the Zoom ID password meeting. Then it will be easy for us to have the recordings. Okay. Anyway, the content what I have delivered, either it's evening batch or morning batch, the content, if it is UI full stack, I'm going to deliver the same, right? So you please check on that. But if you still want some more information, I can take a backup of it. I mean, for the freshers or whoever have joined late, okay, or missed the previous classes. Okay, Teja Arvind, what is the live project we are going to do, sir? Like, I mean, Teja, whatever the technologies we are going to learn, right? When we are learning the technologies, we will be learning with individual content. But if we want to merge all this, you want to, I mean, how actually it is going to work, that we are going to do a live project. I will be working on one of the online shopping application or any of the application we will choose, and I will merge all this content and we will create a complete head to tail application. Okay, so that is the live project what I'm going to. I already said you don't expect that project means I'm going to give you a setup directly, you can start running on it, but I'm going to give you only the guidance and the mockups. Okay, I will provide you 101% of guidance. You need to show the interest. You create the pages, show it to me, boss, this is done. Then I'm going to help you on the next step. You do that again, I'm going to help you on the next step. I'll be keep on providing you the support for that. Okay. For React fees, Priyanka, like, I mean, management, I mean, Ramesh might be the better person to answer the fee structure. I'm not very much clear. It is just a guess, but you can just contact Mr. Ramesh. Okay, please specify the file to be downloaded for Ubuntu. Okay, Singam Seti, like, just message me on the Telegram. I will do some search and I will let you know. Okay. when will be the demo session ends? Mostly by tomorrow. From tomorrow I can actually start with working on the actual content, guys. Web page creation. Actually, I thought like I'll be doing it today, but we are already out of time. Tomorrow I will be showing you how do we start creating the pages and how do we add the CSS, etc. stuff. We are going to do it from tomorrow. Okay, so make sure everybody is there tomorrow, guys. The only reason is I'll be starting from the scratch. I mean, how do you actually create a web page? How do you save it on the editor? How do you run it on the browser? Those all stuff you're going to have a look. Okay, have a good day and bye for today.